Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso just escaped another coup attempt. You guys know the plotters. You know, the Western media is already spreading the news, but the guy came out fit. You can watch the video. He came out back and stronger. I know I told you people that these guys will never give up. You know who I'm talking about. That is the France and Co. They will never give up on these African nations. These guys say they don't want your help, they don't want your aid, leave them alone. No, they say no, because they know what they are getting. They don't want to stop them from getting what they are getting. That's why they don't want to give up. They just want to be there. They want to be there and sucking these people dry. They don't want your aid, they don't want your help, they don't even want to borrow money. The World Bank and the IMF, they don't want your money. They just want to work on their own, but still don't want to leave them alone. This is the kind of thing that we face in Africa. The people want to stay alone, you say no. They don't want to borrow money, you say no. You must come and borrow money, you must need our aids. You see, just listen to how he explained what happened.
Hello everyone, I would say that it is a real pleasure to stop by and say hello once again. Yesterday, it was exactly a week since the incident happened. I'm going to go see where the rocket fell. But know one thing, that it's those who are there to protect you, who unfortunately caused the incident, because you see them posting around. They surely tire you a lot lately every morning because they have reinforced security for several months, which brings a lot of searches and inconveniences, but it's for you. It's so that someone cannot come and harm you here, because you are very important. It is a strategic place, and it is within the framework of their training that they unfortunately want to check a certain number of things. So someone caused the attack, and those who were next to him and the one who fired it were also injured, and they were transported to Yalgado that day. Thank God they left Yalgado with some after effects, of course, because the rocket is not forgiving, especially at that level. Unfortunately, the rocket went into the RTB courtyard here, and we can still give thanks to God because there were no victims as such. There were 2 injured people who were immediately taken care of by the Presidency Infirmary, with the help from the camps, after which the council was also able to come and see the damage and therefore realize the situation of the injured, who were stable, and I hope that they're even better as civilians. We set up a team of psychologists to try to take charge of these 2 injured people and all the staff. So I come today as a psychologist to try again to cheer you up and tell you not to be afraid, because this was not done on purpose against you. It's just an incident that happened in the handling of the weapons, as it always happens. This is why we called in the STC, because there are rules for us. Unfortunately, incidents can happen, they always happen, and it's often unfortunate, so we can thank God that there was really no death and all the injured are recovering. We say thank God. Nobody wants to be surprised, so when a replacement arrives there, everyone wants to check that these work tools are working very well. It's normal, it's logical. But we are in the city and these incidents should not happen in the city, so don't be more afraid than that, and I hope that the tension is going down. We delayed before coming to see you because we had a good reason, and we can explain to you why. Otherwise we could have come to see you the following day, but we did it knowingly, and I think you will understand. Here, you will have the opportunity to ask any questions that may be answered. We're going to chat here and there to distress you a little, because from what I see, there is so much information flowing everywhere and you yourself are asking the questions too. Excellent, hello, please. Okay, precisely, in relation to the incident which happened to you, in any case, it was not necessary just to feed the social networks and even certain media which speak of mutiny of men and your probable flight towards an unknown destination. What exactly happened? Maybe they were even going to say that the TV director was kidnapped too. Well, that's not the case. That's it, and often, we are used to saying a certain number of terminologies people say and which we shouldn't say, but the reality is there. In fact, there are stateless people, there are enemies of the nation, and there is a speech of Sankara that I see, that you broadcasted the last time I was following. It's current, it's as if he's here today and that he is actually speaking. This is the reality. This is absolutely not the case. We are here and everyone should be careful on this day. The incident happened while we were in a council meeting, and if people had failed, would there have been a press briefing after the council? There was a press briefing, and as they have the habit of lying as they breathe, they try to fool people. These individuals, you should not listen to them. They want to distract people, nothing else. Importantly, we never run away. We are soldiers, and that's the last thing that comes to mind. We don't back down, we don't give up, and we don't kneel before anyone, except our parents and God. So that's our mentality. It's like that they said everything they wanted, and we just watched, and precisely it's because of that we didn't come very early. We had to let them feed their lies, and that's what I was saying. Maybe they were going to come and say that the director was kidnapped and even his wife, who perhaps believes in their nonsense. But now, I see that they're lying, they have hatred in him, they are made up intellectually, and that means that they are obliged to lie. Because surely, they have made a pact with the imperialists, and are obliged to work for those crooks. Otherwise we are there, we continue to work, we are with you every morning, we will keep passing by. And we came because we didn't want to let them continue to the point of drowning themselves and others, but I think that they have now drowned. All of Africa understands that they are stateless people, they are enemies of the nation. That's it, they are absolutely nothing. Mr. President, what is your assessment of the treatment of this incident by the media, particularly the Western media? The Western media is not new, and that's good. You are journalists, you work in information. You see what we call the lying media. I think many have understood now most are lying media. They spend the time lying and trying to manipulate. And today when I look at them in the reporting and everything they say, it's shameful. And it's very good. They even managed to prove to all of Africa, and to the whole world, who are liars, and it's good. I think that African youth must have understood, Burkinabe youth must have understood, that it is time they unsubscribed from these people and are no longer listening to them, because they have manipulated us all for a long time. You have several examples at home. We take Ivory Coast, which did not hate Gbagbo. In any case, our generation, they lied so much about him. They told nonsense and they put pressure on you with information, and you ended up hating the person. They make a model of the person to impose that on you. You end up hating the person, they take him to the ICC. Afterwards, we tell him that there is nothing, and he is guilty of nothing. It's that serious. Gaddafi, we let Gaddafi die and here are the consequences. They say he was a dictator, that he did this, he did that. Through their organizations, they lie. RFI, I don't know what, France 24, Le Monde Africa, and others. They are obliged to do the work that is asked of them. They are in fact not free. There are a lot of media there that's not free. They don't make a living from advertising or whatever. It's not true, it's people who pay them. And you give the information the way they want. Even unfortunately here, there is one in Burkina. There are plenty. This is the truth, and when we often say it, people say that we are attacking journalists, but there are some. I think that you have to make the choice between earning your bread but also loving your homeland. In fact, it's true they fight for their homeland. Everything they do is for the benefit of their homeland. But we have to depart from that, and we see national media which take these media as a reference. They're often, we look at certain newspapers they quote, yet according to such newspapers they are just lies. They have no information, they have nothing to report to them. They are liars because when they want to attack a country, they hurt the country as they want. They say what they want about the country to make everyone hate it, and be able to get across what they want. But I think that this time around, we understand we are in 2024, and well, it's a game of chess. Let's go, and we will see what it will give. You must get rid of these media. Hello, Your Excellence. Mine is related to the shooting incident. Some sources have indicated that there were movements of planes, of helicopters in Ouagadougou and Dori. What explained these observed movements of helicopters and planes? We said that we fled a helicopter to go to Dori, and when you see grown-ups lying, it's pitiful. In reality, it was on Wednesday. It was the day after the attack that we launched the operation at Dori, and so the helicopters were sending troops as reinforcements. Again, it's just that they took off here to go to Dori to go take some elements. Therefore from the 9th and with elements of hygiene that they took here in Ouagadougou, for the operation in Mansilla. So we also called it like that. It's true, you see they have a tactic. As I say, the few networks that remain there, they exploit that to do something probable, they always take true information, and around it, they construct their big lie. If you are not vigilant, you will believe that it is true. The helicopters really flew over, it's true and that's a fact everyone observed then. But why did they flew over? That's the question. So they build the big lie around that everyone saw the helicopters flying over, and they use that to say that we're done. No, that's not true. It's the same tactic that they used when the helicopters landed in Ouagadougou, and here they were flying from Alochin to Ouagadougou. That's right, the planes have been landing, but they take that and when I look at them, they lie so much as they breathe, they built a few big lies around that. They say that it's Wagner and the Malian soldiers who came. I would say not Malian military, it's the AES military. So they are Malians, and are free to come to Burkina when they want, as they want and there's nothing wrong. The Russians are already here, we work together. They are here, why were we still going to bring them in? Oh well, that's it, they couldn't help us do what we want. Secondly, I can reassure you that these planes for example have landed, and they had elected officials that I explained to you, the planes are United Nations equipment. After the end of the mission, the ammunition remained in Gao, in Bamako and everywhere. It was the Timbuktu boat that had started to take our ammunition from elsewhere to evacuate to Bamako. They destroyed those boats. So we found other ways to send it out there. And this is ammunition that we picked up. There are even munitions from other countries that we are going to destroy here. So there is a United Nations structure which is there. There was a mass which is aware of the operation, which must even supervise this operation on these 2 days. It's the ammunition from the mission that we picked up in Gao. We had an FPI and in Timbuktu we had our men, the ministers, that's all. But the persistence there should allow you to understand that there is something strange all the same, so it is false. The reports are false, there was nothing and it was only yesterday or the day before yesterday, where there's a major staff who was obliged to communicate, but we didn't even want him to communicate, but it's because the parents of the beloved soldiers started to call them.